Is decentralized finance DeFi dead now that another platform, in this case LendfMe or dForce, the protocol, got hacked for $25 million? Let's take a deeper look in this video. Let's look at how was this actually possible and what do we need to pay attention to. Let's have a look. Hey and welcome to today's video. My name is Julian. On my channel, it's all about investing, mainly in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. We discuss stocks every once in a while, talk gold and all the other fun things you can do with your money. And today I want to cover a topic that's been all over the news, especially crypto news in this case, and it is the DeFi hack that happened over the weekend where $25 million got taken out. And this is quite a lot of money. It's quite a large hack. Some people are talking about how this could be the end of DeFi and how this can be the end not only for the company, but in this case LendfMe, but it could be the end of DeFi, and this is actually really, really bad. A couple of YouTubers have been saying this, and others are saying, no, this is just a little bump in the road, but it's all fine. So what I want to do in this video, I want to first of all explain to you what happened and what is actually the whole backstory. How did this hack work? Because many people don't really understand it. And then at the very end, I'm going to give you a bit of my conclusion. What is the solution to all this? How can we solve all this? So stay all the way until the end to kind of see how this all wraps around. Before we go into the video though, I want to pitch my own company called Cake. On Cake, you can get cash flow from cryptocurrencies. It's completely transparent. We are offering the highest security, really good structure, and check it out. Go to cakedefi.com if you want to, and I'll post a link in there, and sign up, use it, get cash flow from Bitcoin, from Dash, and many other cryptocurrencies. Would love to have you on as a user. But with this, let's dive into the video. And I have made a blog post out of this, so you can either read this on my blog or you can watch this on a video, and it basically just kind of summarizes the whole thing. So if we kind of summarize and get started with what actually happened. So at roughly 9 a.m. Singapore time, which is like 3 a.m. in Europe on April 18th, or actually in the evening of April 17th if you talk about US time. So recording this on the 20th today, so this happened around 2 days ago, 2.5 days ago. There was an attack on Uniswap, and it had to do actually with Uniswap and ERC-777. And I'm going to explain to you in a second on how this all actually works and what this actually means. Now, here's the crazy part. They tried to patch this and they said all was fine. Now, the crazy story is the next day, around the same time, Token Loan, and what they are, I'll also explain to you, received the message from lendf.me that it's been pretty much the same attack, and it resulted to pretty much draining 99.9% of the capital out of dForce, which is the protocol that lendf.me uses. And here you can see the whole thing here on on DeFi Pulse, how whoop, here it's been in free fall, right? So let's kind of look a bit, how does this actually compare to past attacks? And then let's think about how did this actually work. So here we've been discussing this on the channel here as well. We've had these BZX attacks. We actually had 2 of them roughly together. It was $1 million. Now this is now 2 months ago. Last month we had a problem with Maker that was also discussed. I'm not really sure how much of an attack this was, but this was also just that there was a problem with DeFi, right? If you want to call it, and all those contracts didn't properly kind of fire. And now we have this super large kind of hack of $25 million. So obviously there is a fair question: is DeFi doomed? Decentralized finance. Let's first kind of look at, we discussed the BZX attack on the channel, so you can watch this as well. Maker, we discussed this as well. Let's look at dForce here and kind of look at how did this attack actually work. And what happened here is a so-called re-entrancy attack. And the general idea behind it, I'm not going to go too much into the technicals, but the general idea is very simple to understand. You basically, as an attacker, you can create, by looping those smart contracts, you can make a loop where you're withdrawing funds, depositing them again, and make a so-called fallback function that goes into a cycle. And that's where this name comes from, re-entrancy attack. Now the problem happens because you're looping the whole thing, that at the end you get to manage to withdraw all the funds, but you're not depositing them. But you make initially the smart contract believe that it actually gets deposited so that the balance always stays equal of the funds being deposited and withdrawn. But then at the end, all the deposit funds drop away, and then the smart contract is left with only the withdrawals. So actually a very, very smart attack. Only works, and now this gets very interesting, and let's kind of look at how this actually works under the hood a bit. It works by combining 3 different protocols all together. And Uniswap and LendfMe, both of them who got involved, one after the other, actually use both of them. Use all 3 of them. So the LendfMe protocol is a decentralized financial protocol, DeFi, developed by dForce, by the foundation, to support credit operations. And we have seen this already before, that these credit operations, and that was exactly the case here, is a bit of a problem if they are not stacked together properly, or if the logic behind it is not bulletproof. And that is most of the problems actually in DeFi, because in Turing Complete DeFi, you can do anything, and so you have to prepare for everything. And that's always the challenging part. Now the second part is IMBTC, which is nothing else than a coin that runs on top of the Ethereum platform and is covered in a one-on-one ratio with Bitcoin. And so basically it's nothing else than similar, like a wrapped coin, if you want to call it. And that's the second big part. So you kind of have Bitcoin on top of Ethereum. And now the last one is ERC-777, which is one of the underlying technologies that uses the Ethereum blockchain and is intended to support the smart contracts on LendfMe and IMBTC to run on top of the Ethereum platform. So it's basically a tool that's used. Now here's the key part. The token standard is, according to Token Loan, the company who is supporting IMBTC, says the ERC-777 didn't have the problem. So they said it was definitely not ERC-777. But so here's where it gets funny or interesting. The combination of ERC-777 and the Uniswap or Lendf.me made the re-entrancy attacks possible. So it was not the individual thing, but actually combining those together. That's what made the problems. And here is the total crazy part. Actually, the exploits that were being used were described by Open Zeppelin, which is a company that audits those smart contracts, and that was already described in July 2019. The thing was, no one actually looked at the combination of those things, and that's how they missed this possibility, which is, in my opinion, totally crazy, but it just shows how difficult, and I'm not blaming anyone here, I'm just saying it's really, really, really difficult to kind of look at all eventualities and look at how those things all tie in together, especially when money is at play. So yeah, crazy, crazy story. Now, what's the result in all this? Well, Uniswap is has approximately lost $300,000 and $1.1 million, somewhere in between, difficult to calculate exactly. Lendf.me has lost 25.5 million. And here you can see the whole kind of layout in the whole kind of story here. So here you have wrapped Ethereum, you have Tether, you have the IMBTC, and so yeah, you have PAX, you have all these kinds of stable coins that are running on top of Ethereum that got totally drained out of the smart contract there. And the attackers were able to do that. Now, where does the entire problem come from? Now, the entire problem comes from a couple of things. First of all, Turing Complete DeFi that Ethereum kind of offers is very difficult to predict. So it's very, very difficult for developers, companies, users to kind of understand the risks. And I have mentioned this, I think, 50 times over and over, that DeFi itself is probably really, really, really awesome. But the question is, do you want to run this on top of something where anything is possible, which was the original idea of Ethereum? And I'm just questioning this a bit. And now what is the problem? And this is actually the screenshot. Just look at the screenshot from April 18th on Twitter, where they're boasting about returns that you can get on their platform. The problem is that people are not able to judge the risks. No one is. And that is why I have been very hesitant in trusting my money to DeFi. It's very difficult. I have had money in Maker and then I pulled it out because I was really getting worried, especially when the thing started blowing up. And I'm glad I did, because probably on March 12th, I would have also lost money in there. And I'm kind of staying away right now from Turing Complete DeFi because it's so difficult to judge. Hey, I'm getting these returns here, but what are my risks? And this is just where it's difficult. And so I think sometimes people just get really greedy and they don't think smart anymore. They don't think straight. And so obviously, what's the possible solution? Now, the very first one is to really have a better risk assessment. As a user, you need to understand that the reason you're getting such high returns is the risk premium. Don't kid yourself. There is no free lunch, right? Very first thing. The second one is very clear. I mean, obviously, you would have needed better audits. And you need audit and audit and audit and audit. And at the end, maybe after 50 audits, especially the larger and larger you get, you need more audits. And the last one at the end, in my opinion, is the final solution, is to have non-Turing complete DeFi. There are a couple of projects actually working in this route. I'm involved in one, so I'm pitching this one, but you can look them up as well. It's called DeFiChain.io. If you want, check it out. Let me copy it in. You can see it yourself. It's launching this quarter. I have a typo here, actually. So here, check it out yourself, and yeah, take a look. And this is basically non-Turing complete DeFi. On this, not everything is possible, but that's also why you don't have to prepare for all the risk vectors. Now, obviously, the question is, what's next for LendfMe? Are they going to be dead? At the moment, they're actually negotiating with hackers with the attackers for refunds. And the reason is because many of the attackers will not be able to actually redeem those funds. Some of those coins, like for example, the Huobi Bitcoin, I think, or the Huobi stable coin, they will, they will not honor the deposit. So what they're doing right now is they're kind of making some negotiations and see, hey, pay me back majority of the funds. In return, you get something else that you can then redeem. So you're not going to keep 25 million. I get the majority back, but you keep a little bit. That's actually, I think for the attackers, actually the smartest way, because I think they're really going to have problems redeeming those coins. But yeah, it just explains it a bit. It just shows how it goes. And obviously the question is, how can they build confidence? And it's not only those platforms. It's actually it's actually for the entire DeFi space. And Andreas here writes, these stories would be cinema stuff, like Ocean's crypto thieves. Yeah, man, I totally agree, right? So you're completely right, Andreas. And I mean, these are the crazy parts, because obviously now as a platform, you need those funds back. And on the other hand, you need to try to gain the confidence of the users again. And as a whole, the ecosystem needs to kind of show that Turing Complete DeFi has a way to go. And at the moment, if you look on crypto Twitter, there's a lot of people who are doubting exactly that, because they are like, bad code must die. And in their opinion, Ethereum is bad code. And we have seen this over and over and over and over and over again of the past years, how many problems Ethereum has. And let's see, right? Yeah. So with this, let me know what you think about all this. If you want to get cash flow from cryptocurrencies, check out my own company, Cake DeFi. Obviously, always happy to welcome you as a user. If you want to see non-Turing complete DeFi, check out DeFi Chain. There's some other projects as well. Obviously, we're trying to launch this quarter and we're trying to really deliver. And yeah, always looking forward to getting feedback from you. Getting a thumbs up, click the subscribe button if you don't want to miss anything on the future videos. And I'll hope I'll have you on as a recurring viewer. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you next time. I hope this gives you a lot of value and a lot of explanations. Thank you. Have a good week. Stay cool, stay safe, don't get greedy, and yeah, stay healthy, wash your hands. Thank you all, bye-bye.